Christina, welcome to Live from Bed.
Thanks for having me.
We were supposed to do this in person, and I said, Christina, please, God, I just can't. I've lost my will to live. I've lost,
Haven't we all?
I've just
Honestly, I will say I'm actually like low key kind of hungover today. So this,
gorgeous.
and you know what? Like I keep saying I'm in my drinking era, which is
Yeah,
a newfound place for me because
I'm so happy for you.
I've never been there. Yeah, but it's also like kind of a weird place to enter in your 30s, because who's doing that?
But like, maybe this is the time. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm really doing my best out there.
yeah. What are you drinking? Just for those of us who can't.
I will say
I'm jealous.
I think dirty martinis were the gateway
Mm.
for me because, like, in college and in my 20s, I actually only drank beer, which is kind of a wild thing to be, like, just slamming beers. It's just not very feasible.
Can I tell you, it's like I'm actually so jealous because those are the two drinks. Like, I don't
Beer and
like
dirty martini?
beer, but I want to like them. Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like it just extends from like your outfits that I want to be wearing to like the drinks that I want to be drinking. Like, your
Okay.
brand is what I want right now in my life. It's bad
You know,
bitch, you know?
I think the thing with the beer is you just kinda have to gaslight yourself a little bit to, like, convince yourself that you really like it. I think that's the way in, is you just convince yourself it tastes really good and you're loving it and like, "Oh my god, I look so cool drinking a beer,"
It
and then
is,
eventually
it's
one
so
day
cute to drink.
you
Like,
like
you're
it.
just like a guy's girl. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you're cute.
It's so pick me in, like, the cutest little way.
I always do you burp? Like, I feel like it's just
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
right?
You're belching for sure, but I'm a gin girl, was never really a vodka girl, so I was gin and tonic was my
Yeah.
thing, and then I discovered dirty gin martinis, and it's quite honestly changed my life. Um,
Gin is a fun drunk.
it is, and also a dirty martini, I'm not feeling like ass the
Right.
next day because I don't have, like, a
Yeah.
bunch of sugary stuff. I will say, though, last night, I was drinking champagne. Who the fuck is drinking champagne on a
It's always a good idea until it isn't. You know what I mean?
Thursday?
It sounds
Yeah,
fun, it's celebratory, but then it's just it'll fuck your shit up.
it's a lot. So, I was actually not happy that you weren't feeling good, but,
Happy I wasn't feeling good. Like, I love a canceled plan more than anything. I'm sorry I didn't do the full cancel, but
it's okay.
it'll be worth your
You
while.
edged me a little bit, it's fine.
I know, no, it's so true. I like almost you got the email and you were probably like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited she's gonna cancel."
Hey, I didn't have to drive. That's half the battle. I didn't have to drive, and I
And
didn't have
that
to sit
drive
on fucking
where
sand.
we were gonna drive is a horrible drive, let's just be
It is.
honest.
It is, but you know what? We're here, and also this has been a back and forth for a very long time, so
I
thank you for
know.
being patient with
No, I'm
me.
so happy. Are you kidding? This has been worth my while already.
Oh,
I like it because we're both 32 too,
yeah.
and
Oh, I love.
we're on opposite sides of the spectrum right now
Yep,
of hangover versus just, my pelvis splitting in half and
right,
me just not being able to breathe. But
right.
also it's kind of the same, you know?
We're going through our own struggles in different
Yeah,
ways.
we're just struggling,
Yeah, I
which
love that.
is nice for me. I'm
I love
glad
it.
that we're I'm so
I
glad.
love the struggle.
Are you a New Year's resolution person? Do you fuck with that?
Yeah, no. No, I
Me
mean,
neither.
I think you kinda have to upkeep the image that you're doing it. I don't do like a of course, everyone this year, especially or maybe I'm noticing it more now that I'm in my drinking era, which by the way, when I say, like, my drinking era, I'm, like, having a cocktail at dinner, and I'm like, "Look at me, I'm drinking now."
Right.
Um,
No,
but
yeah.
everybody was doing dry January, and I'm like, "Guys, I finally
What is
just got
that?
here."
That's the worst time to do January is horrific. Like, why are we doing it
That
then?
is the time that we need it. Can't we do it in, like,
100%.
April? Or
Right,
not
sure.
April, 'cause that's Coachella, maybe, like,
Yeah.
May? Like, there are other times that we can do it. I literally was at a brand dinner last night, and the champagne came around, and I was like, "Yeah," and the girl next to me was like, "No, sorry, I'm doing 75 hard," and I was like,
What
"Why?"
can we just talk like those things that you just pretend to understand and you don't? Like, I
That's
like
one of
math,
them.
like,
Like crypto.
right,
Yeah.
sure. 75 what is that? I've never, like, stopped to ask because 'cause I'm also afraid that someone will tell me. You know what
I
I
don't
mean? That
know, but
someone will, like, actually explain it to me.
it's like, "Hey, I know day to day is hard as is. Let's just
Right.
make it absolutely diabolical for 75 days."
Oh, it's
I don't
75
really know what it entails. I know that you're not drinking,
Right.
I don't know if you're not doing sugar, you're working out every day. It, we cut it out,
No.
knock it
Enough.
off,
Yeah.
enough. So, my New Year's resolution, I did say that this year was the year that I want to be like more present.
Yeah.
And I think the past many a years, honestly, for the longest that I can remember, I've never been somebody that celebrated my wins. I've never been somebody that
Oh.
takes a second and appreciates what I'm doing. It's very
Yeah.
much achieving something. And then while I'm in the midst of achieving it, I'm like, okay, well, what's next?
Totally.
And I experienced burnout for the first time last year, which I've always been I'm better than burnout. I was so cocky. I was like, burnout's never gonna find me. And then it hit me and I did not wanna ever feel that again. So my
Yeah.
resolution, more so to myself, has just been to be a little bit more in the moment, to be more appreciative, and intentional about being appreciative.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I got rid of one vice and I picked up another. I have been smoking cigs.
Great.
It's a Q1 thing. I keep saying first it was like a Christmas break thing because that was weird, and then I was like, "Okay, it's a Q1 thing," but my issue with cigs is I keep, like, letting go of a vice and picking up another, and
It's crazy to me when people don't have vices. Like, it's like, "What the fuck are we doing? Like, we're here for a good time, not a long time." You know? Like,
you need something to get you through it, you know?
100%.
When I first started, like, "Oh, I'm gonna have one drunk cig," it started when we would go to Europe for work
Yeah.
is never, and it was, okay, only in Europe because they really don't count there. There's
Right.
some si
Duh.
it this doesn't count. And then from there, it was, okay, only when I'm in New York,
Yeah.
and then, well, only when I'm in Vegas. Okay, well, only when I'm drinking. And now
Valid.
it's evolved into something that I can't control, but I
No, I'm
will
so happy for
say,
you. You're living my dream life.
am I less stressed right now? Yes. Have I also picked up cigarettes? Yes. Do the 2 have anything to do with each other? I have no idea. That is not my judgment to make,
We're
but,
just focused on being present, honey.
that's all I'm trying to
That's
do.
all that's
Like,
all we're
God
trying to do.
forbid.
The rest is none of our business.
None of my
The
business.
best
I'm
thing
just a
about
girl.
that kind of resolution is, like, nobody can track you know what I mean? It's between you and God. It's like, you can also be like, "I was semi-present in, like,
Yep.
that moment for, like, 2
Yeah.
seconds," and, I like that. It's,
I
like,
think
kind of
that's if you're gonna do it a resolution, it has to be something that other people can't hold you accountable for because why the fuck are we
100%.
doing that? If
Right.
God forbid I ever muttered, "I'm doing dry January," and then God forbid I have a slip up.
Right.
It's like, for an example, I'm 980 days on Duolingo for Italian. Have I used a couple
Wow!
of my freezes? Yeah, I have, but nobody needs to know that. To
What are
their
phrases,
knowledge,
like, just to stop? Like
you get a certain amount of freezes
okay.
where if you miss one day, because basically if you miss one day on Duolingo, your entire streak goes away. So a freeze, which you don't always have access to unless you buy them, and I do not buy them, but unless you buy them, which I'm sure
Who is
people
running
do.
Duolingo? This sounds so strict.
I'm
This is
telling you,
insane.
that bird knows what he's doing or what they're doing
That's
because
crazy.
there's nothing worse than almost losing your streak. I've had to do my lessons in club bathrooms in the middle of the night. I've woken up in night sweats being like, fuck, oh my God, the bird. Because Duolingo sends you very passive aggressive emails
Wow.
when you're about to miss your streak.
I'm so glad I'll
Um,
never sign up. This is terrifying to me.
it honestly is a cult. It's kind of run my life. That being said, have I used a freeze? Yeah, people don't need to know it. Nobody can
Right.
hold me accountable. It's between me and the bird, Same thing with my New Year's resolution. It's between me and myself. To your knowledge, I am practicing said resolution.
Yeah, we're present.
For present.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so I just do have to say, like, finding out that you were on all that, and I know people probably say it to you all the time. It just tickled my nuts. I'm, like, so thrilled to hear that, like, and you won the funniest kid what was it? Funniest kid in America or something?
It sure was.
Okay, but I'm gonna take a hard left and talk to you
Okay.
actually about something that I find even more because you know how few people I can talk to about Cat in the Hat?
Okay, you're gonna fucking die when I respond to what you're about to say.
Okay, because I make, like, a Mr. Hoverflue reference, like,
Yep.
often. It falls on deaf ears every time. No one gets it. That movie getting a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes is a complete
Is it really a
abomination. Yes,
10% on
it deserves 100%. I thought
It's
I
a
read
great
it wrong.
movie.
It's an amazing movie. Are you not in it?
I'm not in that fucking movie. No, but hold on. The lore of this is actually crazy. When first of all, love the movie, would get any reference. Great movie. Fuck Rotten Tomatoes for that 10%.
Wait,
I
I
cannot
love that
tell
you
you. No, no, no. Listen, it gets brought up almost all the time. I've had people
were
come up to me still to this day, 30 years later, chasing me in the streets. I loved you in Cat in the Hat. I don't know. Like, me and my parents constantly are like, was there a Mandela effect? Was I in Cat in the Hat? Because people recognize me from it. And the crazy
I'm
thing is,
sorry, I'm dying.
no,
I'm like, my
and
whole interview's about cat that.
you're like, well, fuck, those are the only questions I prepared. The crazy thing is I'm listed as girl at the party. Do
Yes,
you know
go
how many
to the
fucking
party.
times I have watched that party scene? The only other, like, white blonde bitch is Paris fucking Hilton. And I'm like,
Oh,
who were they confusing me for?
that is so funny.
But I'll tell you what, did I ever dispute it on IMDb? No. Could I use the extra
Don't.
credit? Yes. So to anyone's knowledge, when they say we loved you in Cat in the Hat, thank you.
Your co-star
Thank
Dakota
you.
Fanning.
My
I
my close intimate friend Dakota. I wasn't in that fucking
wait,
movie.
that is so like I feel like someone like just trolled. I'm crying. Someone like trolled you early on and like
And I've honestly been like really like I've talked about it now on podcasts, and I'm always afraid to admit it because I'm like, oh my god, somebody at IMDb is gonna see it and remove that credit,
no,
and
they
I need
can't.
that credit because
No,
it's
you deserve it
keeping
at
me
this
alive.
way. You
I
are girl at
do.
the party.
I am girl at the party.
Oh my god, that is so funny. So you were on all that, you were
I
not
was on all that. That is real news.
but you didn't
Cat in
even
the Hat.
audition for Cat in the Hat?
Never saw a script in my fucking life.
I love
Like,
that
I don't
movie so
even
much. I
know.
was so excited to talk to you about the behind the scenes moments.
Girl, I was too. Trust me. Believe me, when I saw that credit, I'm like, would have loved it.
Oh, I'm crying.
And then this is before AI. So I remember being like, did they CGI me into the movie? Like,
What an
why are people,
incredible
and people are
movie.
adamant that they saw me in it. And I'm always like, did you think I'm Dakota? I don't, I'm so
Right.
confused.
I think
Um,
we have at this point, we just have to you should lean in hardcore.
That's what I listen, it depends on who I'm talking to, but if it's somebody that could potentially cut my check in
Yeah, I'm
film and
like, "You don't
television,
do you
I'm
get
like,
residuals?"
"Yeah."
Like, for real.
No.
For, like, me watching it over and over again, I love that movie.
I have to be the reason for so many of the rewatches because it's me going through it a million times to figure out where I am in that scene.
Oh my
I
and
account for most of the rewatches.
oh, also, which part like, the party that they throw, like, at the like, what party?
The scene that I have seen a million times is where they, like, go through that, like, nightclub and the cat is, like, going through
Oh,
the
sure,
nightclub,
sure.
and Paris Hilton has a very small cameo in it.
Right.
I have time stamped that scene. I gotta do it again now that I'm an adult because it's been
Let's
a
go
while. I gotta go back and just,
let's
figure it
rewatch
out.
it. But
Yeah,
I'll, like,
but
convince myself I see you.
honestly, shout out IMDb
I
for
want you
that
to be
credit.
so bad.
Me too. Maybe they'll do a remake and, I gotta be part of that franchise at some
Oh
point.
my god, I love that
Yeah, so
so
pivot all of your questions.
the whole interview was about Cat in the Hat.
You were like, "Well, there goes the fucking title."
I have no one to talk
I
to
am
about
the
that
cat in the
movie.
hat.
Yeah, like,
Cat's
I
out of the
literally
bag.
no, I was so excited because no one understands. Like, everything's kind of had its moment in the sun,
Of
like,
course.
now, like, all the shit that I used to love, right, like, in
Yep.
silence, like, has now become, like, mainstream, like Wicked or, like, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
Slime, like, all that
Yep.
bullshit. This passion has not been reawakened, like, people
I
have
wish
not celebrated it.
I really wish I could have been
I know,
that
I
key for you.
I should have
I'm
rescheduled.
sorry.
I'm so disappointed. Okay, but I
I
will
thought I was
say
interviewing the bitch in Cat in the Hat, and you're who? Who are you?
I am sorry, I literally wish you knew how
No, it's
excited I
fine.
was.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
so disappointed.
Me too.
Okay, but funniest kid in America, I will take that. That is an incredible thing.
That is correct.
So how
I
old were
was
you?
that. I was 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did it get to your head? Were you like, "I am the funniest kid in
No.
America"?
No. It kind of I did the opposite a bit. I also had a really good my parents were just really good at keeping me grounded, and I don't think you understand again because this was before social media. You don't really understand the scale of what you're doing.
Right.
Even to this day, I go everywhere with the intent of nobody fucking knows who the fuck I am. And to this day, anytime somebody comes up to me, there's this imposter syndrome because when you're on the internet, although you're seeing in real time how many people are resonating with what you're doing,
Yeah,
it's just kind of you against your platforms. You don't understand what the reach looks like until you see it in real life. And
totally.
I think during that time with no social media, I just never felt like I was going to work and I was on the number one kids show
Yeah.
and getting the chance to hang out with a lot of celebrities that I had looked up to.
Yeah.
Not that it was always so cool, and it really wasn't until because in Los Angeles, being a public-facing person in Los Angeles and then being a public-facing person in the suburbs of Massachusetts is very different.
Right.
And I remember going out in Los Angeles and being recognized, but I was also amongst other people that had been doing it for so long and it just felt more normal. It really wasn't until I transitioned back to where I grew up that I realized what a big fucking deal what I had just done
Yeah.
was. Not in a positive way. I dealt with
Mm.
a lot of shit. It was not fun for me for many years when I returned, to Massachusetts, but it never felt it wasn't it wasn't a time where I could just, take a Snapchat of me and Britney Spears on set and be like, "Look where I
Right.
am, guys." It really felt so in the moment.
Was it like other kids were jealous or like what was the hard part about that?
That psyche is very strange for
Yeah.
kids. I mean, again, this is no social media. This is during a
Right.
time where if you were on television, you were a celebrity. If you
Mhm.
were, there was no mid-level, there was no content creators, there was none of that stuff. So it was
Yeah.
just kind of general public and then people we see on our screens.
Mhm.
And there was so much hype around that contest because that contest, nobody had done anything like that. When it was on and being broadcasted, every kid was watching it. It
Right.
was what was happening during that time. So a lot of people followed my journey very closely.
Mm.
And I think coming back, it's a weird age.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this chick that was in my English class just went to LA and shot a TV show and now is coming back. And when I came back to Massachusetts, there were news reporters outside my school.
Wow.
It was I couldn't go to the mall. I couldn't go to gymnastics tournaments. It was just overnight my life was very very different. And my parents had never been in the industry. I had never been in the industry, so we were kinda just figuring it out together. But yeah, it never once did it ever get to my head, actually. In fact, when I won the competition the night of, I did an interview shortly after, I think with Variety or, The Hollywood Reporter, and I remember they had said it was me and my parents were behind me, and they said, "Oh," to my parents, "What are your plans now that your daughter is on, the biggest television show?" And my mom said, "We're gonna do everything to keep her grounded." And I was like, "You guys are gonna fucking ground me? I just literally won this shit." So, they very much did that. My, parents were with me all the time, and, um, I come from yeah, my mom especially was always kept me in check
Yeah.
and gave me the confidence and the validation that what I was doing was really cool and great, but it didn't make me any different than anybody else.
Right.
If anything, I was just constantly in awe of, the fact that Amanda Bynes and Britney Spears are walking around on our set and, you know, I'm asking people for autographs, and remember we were at the Kids' Choice Awards, and one of the cast members who's still one of my close friends, he was like, "Hey," you know, kind of explained to me, I forget who I had gone up to and, like, asked for their autograph, and he's like, "Hey, you are one of them now too."
Yeah.
And he explained kind of the manners of there's this unspoken thing that we're all doing this thing together and we're going to be respectful, and he kind of taught me how to keep my cool and my composure. So I was also very lucky that I was the youngest on a cast full of veterans that had been doing it for
Right.
some of them many years, and they really, like, showed me the ropes.
I mean, that's so crazy because I feel like a lot of those kids that were also on the show stayed in that world, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, they didn't go back to school, they didn't, like so it must have been trippy for you to, like, live this kind of double
Yeah.
life, but also let's just talk about the thrill of getting an autograph that's been lost on this generation, like
Oh my god. Do you know actually what was the I was just saying this to my best friend the other day. During that time, the big thing, I would sign autographs. I also had an autograph book
I
that
had
I
about
would
I was obsessed
yeah,
with
that
getting
I would get
an autograph.
any autograph, especially being in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But the thing that I did, which I'm like, "Oh my god, I would fucking kill if someone still has one of those phones that I could listen to it." I probably left hundreds of voicemails. So girls would come up to me at Claire's and they'd give me their phone. And instead of an autograph or a photo, it was, "Hi, my name is Emily. Can you leave my voicemail?" So I would go through it
Oh.
and I would go, wait for the beep, and I would go, "Hi, this is Christina Kirkman from All That. You've reached Emily's phone. She can't," like, I left so many of those, which was, looking back, I'm like, "Oh my God, what a, like, refreshing, wholesome thing that we
What a
used to do."
genius thing, like, what like,
Yeah,
those people were smarter than I was. I was
totally.
out here
Yeah,
getting, like, Donald Ducks, like,
same.
the man in the costume at
Right.
Disneyland. Like, I was obsessed with the
Yeah,
game of getting autographs,
because
like,
you're collecting something.
oh, I
Yeah,
loved it, like, my dad would bring me to the Grammys, and I would humiliate during the commercial break, I'd run in there,
yep,
like, just try to get as many autographs. I was obsessed.
same. It was just yeah, it felt like to be able to collect something tangible
Yeah.
was so cool, and, like, to fill up all of those pages.
Y Loved
Yeah,
it.
what a
Like,
what a lost art form.
but, like, they don't even say, like, "To Jade," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're the most, like that's why the people that got you to do the voicemails are smart.
I mean, now looking back, I'm like, "Damn, that was really what an interesting thing," and nobody would ever do that now.
It's so crazy. I know,
Yeah,
like,
it was
we
like
should make custom voicemails. Like,
it
it
was
real
like the OG cameo, you
Yeah,
know? It was really cool.
totally, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so, do you keep in touch with anyone from Cat in the Hat? No. Would you keep in touch with anyone from all that?
Yeah, me and my dear old friend Dakota Fanning,
Yeah.
just
You keep in touch with the
um,
cat?
yeah, yeah, um, I do. So many of us are like mutuals on social.
Yeah.
Jack DeSena, who's probably been the one that I've been closest to, he's so fucking funny. He also was very much my mentor to some degree when we were on
Oh,
All That.
yeah.
I actually used to follow him around on set. And he would do a character, and I would follow him around on set, and I would try to mimic the voices that he would do. So
Right.
much so that the writers would actually start writing me in as his, like, sidekick to whatever character he was
Oh, that's
playing.
great.
And he really, he's just such a great
But
guy.
I was, like, stalking you on TikTok, and I was just, like a video that stuck out to me so much is when you were talking, like, to your audience,
Uh-huh.
your fans, your people, whatever you wanna call them, and you were saying you were talking about your kind of path into, like, acting after being a child actor, and I find it so interesting because, like so you did, like, 8 years of acting as an adult,
Yeah,
and I think, like,
longer.
a lot of people our age, just in general, like, whether it's acting or, like, I mean, I'm from LA, so, like, a lot of
Mhm.
my friends are actors, and I think it is, like, the single hardest, like, thing on your ego, and it's such a hard thing to break into, you have to wait for permission, you have to carry around this dream of, like, when you go to a event or some people wanna talk to you and they say like, "What do you do?" And you're
Mhm.
like, "Can't do I have the permission to say I'm an actor if I haven't been in anything or if I have been in something or whatever." It's such an identity crisis, and it's so there's so much rejection. There's so much, like, getting your hopes up and working so hard on something and almost getting something, and it's really emotional. But I
Yeah.
think just in general, like, carrying around a dream like that, whether it's like, it doesn't even have to be in the entertainment industry, like, just being like, "When do I give up? When do I" it's like the amount of, like, mental fortitude it takes to, like, do that and carry
Yeah.
that around and, like, confidently say you're something when other people are like, "Well, what have you been" like, when people can
Totally.
watch your success, it's, like, so painful.
Yeah.
And so I just, like, wonder from you because you were like, "Oh, I almost gave up on being a creative in entertainment," because I was like, I thought this was, like, the one avenue I could go into. And so then did you find social media? And what years of your life was that when you were like, "Okay, I'm not gonna" are you still trying to act like, like, are you what does it look like now?
Yeah, I mean, it is it's not fun because
Yeah.
you're essentially signing up for a job that yeah, I always say, and I think this goes for all artists. I don't think it's like quite exclusive to actors, but I
Yeah.
think I can speak from the actor side is most working actors, like the regular working actor, cannot survive on just acting,
Right.
right? So you're working
Right.
many other jobs and then you have this job and you pour everything into it. And I always say you are the hardest working unpaid intern
So true.
because the role of being an actor, you're a professional auditioner and you're it like you said, having the permission to say you're an actor, people want something that's tangible.
Right.
You have to, well, what were you on? What do you have? And then it feels like, well,
Oh,
damn, it discounts what I
yes.
do and what I can do because I don't have something or I don't have a lot of tangible things to give you. Um,
Like, whether you're a
I,
writer, like, all of those
oh,
it's
it's,
like it's terrible. You could have spent 15 hours on an audition,
yeah,
and people, like, don't care because it's not
totally.
tangible. Right.
Yeah. I think you also reach a point where you have to be delusional to be an artist. That's
Yeah.
actually the key to being an artist is you have
Yes.
to be so painfully delusional. But then even when you're super confident in your craft and you are being delusional, you do reach a point where you say, At what point is this a sign that I'm not supposed to do this?" Like, that line is very, very gray between, am I wasting energy? Because the reality is not everybody's dream is gonna come true,
Right.
and the dream that you might have might actually not end up being the dream that one day you achieve and you love.
Yes.
And I
Right.
think that that's a hard thing for people to understand. Happened to me. We get so fixated on one dream
Mhm.
for me, I fell out of love with acting.
Mhm.
I was a professional auditioner. I worked a show before the pandemic, which changed my life because it allowed me to be financially independent, so much so that I was able to get out of a toxic relationship. I was able to live
Wow.
alone. I was able, and aside from everything else, it gave me that boost again, that confidence that,
Mhm.
okay, I've now been vetted by industry professionals. I can do this. The delusion is quantifiable now.
Totally.
And then, again, you end up kind of just getting in the hamster wheel of auditioning and you have to be very doe-eyed and you're reading scripts that you don't love, you're going out for roles you don't love, and you have so much pressure on every audition because you're like, I need this audition to pay my rent.
Right.
And I think as an artist, when our art is also the key to survival,
Yep.
naturally, eventually you will fall out of love with it. And I did, and I had this come to Jesus moment where, COVID happened. We've had strikes. Nothing is guaranteed. You'll book a role and then you'll get all these auditions and then people will forget about you for a few months and you fall off the wagon. And I one day kind of woke up and was like, okay, what is it that I love about acting?
Right.
What is it about being broke and being told I'm not enough and missing funerals and weddings? What is it about that
Right.
that is making me so obsessed with this pipe dream.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it really is just entertaining, and that's what I love about acting, and I was so fixated on achieving that entertainment through one lane that I was
Mm.
discounting all of the other areas that I could have achieved that. And with content creation, it's so freeing, and I think anybody that comes from the traditional side of Hollywood will also say that, that you have so much control over your narrative and your brand, and I can choose. I can entertain multiple times a fucking day if I want. I can entertain once a month. And it allows you to get back to your roots of what is it about entertainment that I love? What do I love to do? What makes me happy? And through kind of letting go of traditional Hollywood and embracing the digital side, a side that I never thought that I would want to be on, it allowed me to lose a lot of that resentment that I had with my original love, and through this process, I've now fallen in love with that side again, and I am back in that world again, and I love it, and I have this hunger and lust for it that I have never had, and I think also the privilege of knowing I don't need that role to pay my rent is so cool because I'm not in it for the money. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm in it because I love it and I love to entertain. And that's been a really um, cool thing to go through. And it's been very rewarding, especially after 10 plus years of me smashing my head up against a wall
Right.
and being like, is this not meant for me? I don't know what else I would do. And I think that's a big part of figuring out if you're delusional or if it's time to let go of something. I have a list of a gajillion hobbies, but when I sat down and tried to figure out, okay, well, what can I do if I don't act? There was not a single fucking thing
Right.
that I wanted to do, you
Right.
know? So
No,
yeah, it's humbling for sure.
there's so much I wanna unpack in that 'cause you put that so beautifully, and it's so true, like, I think, you know, it is this thing where you'll repeat to yourself, like, "Okay, if you just stay delusional, you just stay in
Yep.
the saddle," like, the people that achieve it are the people that ride through this in tremendous discomfort of every day, like, being asked, "What do you do?" and or feeling rejected or feeling like you're like, "How long do I believe in the delusion or, like, this dream or am I being crazy? Am I, like,
Yeah.
being irresponsible? Am I like, when do I give it up? When do I? Because 'cause you're really fighting the current of I don't know whether it's your parents or your
Mhm.
friends or it is like you have to, like, push that hope along by yourself for so long. I think there's a moment where you kind of feel like, "Wait, who am I doing this for?" Because you also become like I mean, if you're anything like me, like, you become, like, spiteful of the people that
Mhm.
don't believe in you yet?
Mhm.
And you're like, "Oh, but once" and it is true, like, the once you make it, they all shut up, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like, now you like, this dream has been incredible," whereas before they were talking behind your back being like,
Mhm.
"She's, like, an actor," or whatever, "She's a podcast, she's a writer, what a musician." Whatever it is, and then you get the big break or whatever, and then people suddenly,
Take
like,
it seriously.
take you
Yeah.
seriously, wanna reach out to you, wanna go to lunch, wanna like you just feel like everything is on the other side of that big break.
Yeah.
And so, like, your life is kind of, like, on hold until you get there.
Constantly. I think
Yeah.
also I'm very stubborn,
Yeah, me too.
and I will never do something because somebody tells me to do it. Even if I wanna do it,
Totally.
it's, I I have a complex in that way,
Me too. Like, if you tell me I
and
have to do something, I can't do it.
right.
Yeah.
I think so I sometimes am so I try to be so careful about how I give advice to people because I think that there was a time that I was broke and trying to act and then, gaining success as a content creator. I think anytime, it's like when a supermodel is being interviewed and they're like, "Oh no, guys, in high school I was really dorky and weird, I
Right.
promise you." And you're like,
Right. Yeah. Yep.
I will say, as annoying as this is to hear when you're on that side of things where you don't know who to trust. You're starting to lose trust in yourself and your talent, and you don't even know if this thing is going to work. Sometimes it's just not your time.
Right.
And I think about, for an example, when I booked the show that I had done before COVID, it was the first time I was doing a role that was I played a very, sexual character
Mhm.
who something so different than what I had ever played on camera,
Yeah.
and when first day on set, I had a risque scene, and I remember I went to my trailer and said, "Oh my god, if I had gotten this role, like, a year ago, I don't think I had the tools yet to be able to do it, and the only way I got the tools was auditioning a gajillion
Right.
times and watching a gajillion shows and being around a gajillion actors, and honestly, I feel like my talent really started or I really started to understand my toolbox
Mhm.
through being rejected
Mhm.
and paying attention to what was working and what wasn't working and where I felt comfortable and where I didn't feel comfortable, and I think that sometimes you're being tested.
Yeah.
A, how bad do you want this? B, you're really good at this thing. You're not ready because sometimes you only have one shot and one impression and
Mhm.
one time. So sometimes it's just kind of gearing you up for what's about to happen. And usually
Yeah.
when you're about to quit is when you're right up against that thing that's supposed to happen for you.
Which is so frustrating, right?
Yeah.
Because even, like, with my friends, I see all the time, like, with auditions and they're working these other jobs, right? And they're like, "Okay, do I take this shift at the wherever I'm working, or do I do this audition?" Like, you don't know where to put your energy, your
Yeah.
efforts. Like, do I miss this funeral? Do I miss this birthday? Because this could be my big break, but it
Totally.
also could not be. And it's, like, challenging in every aspect of your life, you know?
Yeah.
And I talk to them all the time because I'm like, podcasting or even writing is, now, like, you can have a Substack, you can
Yep.
podcast, you can, if you have a microphone and not even, you have a phone, you can podcast.
Yeah.
It's nice because, like, with content creation, you can be creating and feel fulfilled and get those wins still without having to be given that permission that maybe
Hmm.
actors or have to get. And it's like it's incredible, like, the success that you've found in content creation because it's like maybe that if you hadn't allowed yourself that avenue or, like, another avenue, like, that
Oh,
took
yeah.
mental flexibility in and of itself. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think also it was changing my mindset. Back to like me having a
Yeah.
complex. I think I've always been I have to prove them wrong. I have to prove them
Yes.
wrong.
You get
And
like
I
that, like,
yeah,
when you're in something like
I
this.
think that's great because that's usually a sign that you are motivated and you're inspired and you're going to be a really hard worker and you're going to do what you need to do to achieve the thing that you want. I think that's great. I think sometimes though, at least for me, it got in my way a little bit where I was killing myself to prove myself to I don't even fucking know who I was trying to prove myself to, but I realized, you know, oh, I can still achieve the thing that I want to achieve just in a different medium. I'm still doing what I said I wanted to do. I'm entertaining. And also sometimes the detour, sometimes you're being met with something and it's time to you can still get that and achieve that and go in that direction, but, like, for whatever reason, you're being called to go in a little bit of a detour,
Yeah.
and I think the second I listened to that, like, just something and that just took, honestly, spending so much time by myself and listening to my gut and saying, "I know I love to entertain. I know I wanna do it, and I know I'm really good at it." For some reason, for 10 years now, I'm getting hit right here. Let me just go a different way. And now it's been so interesting because now I've been able to take this other entrance into the
Yes.
the place that I wanna go. And I think, yeah, getting there, I was so fixated on how I wanted to get there that I completely put the blinders on to any other opportunities that were around me.
Yeah.
And, now it's awesome because I'm at a really cool intersection of I was a traditional actor first. I understand that world. I can be on a set. I get it. And I'm also on the content creation side. So I I just I understand how both demographics consume. And I
Yeah.
think that's what's helped me create good content that feels in alignment with what I like to do. And it also helps me use discernment on the traditional side of what am I inspired to do? What roles do I love? Where can I pick that angle? So it's
Right.
been a really fun place to be.
No, I'm so inspired by that. I think so many people listening will, like, just love you saying that and learn so much from that. I've never talked about that, like, in quite this way on the show, and I think it's so important. And also the way that like, just were saying how you've learned so much by being in
Mhm.
the acting world, like, just because, like, if someone spends years acting and then they decide that they're gonna take a different path, like, that knowledge that you got, I think people completely discredit that. If it's not the whole thing, it's nothing at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like you can take pieces of that and work it like, and then now they work symbiotically, like, both of
Yeah.
your to your benefit, and, like, now look where you are. It's like, it really is inspirational. It's, like, incredible to
Yeah.
be brave enough to take the detour,
Thank you.
you know?
It doesn't feel very fucking brave when you're in it, you know? You're
Oh, no,
like,
it
"What
feels
the
like
fuck is"
shit.
yeah, it feels
Yeah,
terrible.
it feels
Um,
horrible.
and I think that's, something to be said too, is I think a lot of people think that when they listen to their gut,
Yeah.
it's gonna always feel immediately great, and that's the sign that you made the right decision. More times than not, when you
Yes.
listen to your gut, it doesn't feel good immediately, and you question, "Fuck, did I make the right choice?"
Yes.
Um,
Oh my
and
god. Yes.
yeah, I think there's not a direct correlation. It's normal to listen to your gut and make a decision and feel really weird about it after, and then it might not be something that makes sense to you until 2, 3 months down the line, a year, 2. So,
It's
I
so
think
true.
when in doubt, when you reach that crossroad, figure out what it is about that dream that you are hyper fixating on and figure out how can I achieve that dream in a different way?
Mhm.
And everything is so merged together now, especially
Yeah,
with social media, right? Every industry touches each other. It's like everything relies on its neighboring thing. So if anything, it's only going to benefit you
totally.
to go in a different direction and add those tools to your toolbox because it's going to make you stronger on this side of being an artist.
Yeah, because I hear it's like
Yeah.
so a lot of my friends are like, people really want actors who
Yeah.
have a social media following or have, like, content out there now. It's kind of with everything. It's not just, like, with career stuff, or it's even, like, in relationships. Like,
Mhm.
sometimes that following your gut feeling, or, like, when you make that decision feels like shit, or it feels uncomfortable, or it feels wrong, or it feels like it's quiet.
Yeah.
It's more quiet than, like, reaching a mountaintop. It's not like, "Oh, I listened to my gut and it was so clear and it was so." You are, like, the whole time being like, "I could have made the fucking wrong decision. I don't really
Yeah.
know."
I think it's the same thing about I just did a episode on my podcast about this with I think some people think when they, you know, do that their dream job or they do a skill or they meet their partner, the thing that's supposed to be for them, they're just gonna see doves and the light and they're gonna be like, oh my God, this is the thing. That's not the case. I think
Never.
that sometimes, more times than not, you'll do the thing that you think is meant for you and you're like, oh, I don't actually really love that as much as I thought I
Mhm.
would. And I think that that's why it's important, especially if you are a creative, to do as many things as you can in different creative outlets because you'll be surprised the thing that you actually and again, I can only speak for myself and I think that I know other people that have felt this way as well, but sometimes the creative thing that you have fantasies about, you get it and you're like, "Oh, it's actually not that sweet." And more times than not, the thing that you just never even had in the realm of your brain ends up being the thing that just brings you so much curiosity and fulfillment and excitement and usually reinvigorates your work. So, don't have those blinders on too much that you completely remove yourself from any other possibility that you could enter.
God, I love this. I love everything you had to say so much. Thank you
Thanks.
so much for doing
Oh
this
my
with
god, of
me.
course. Thank
Hungover
you.
and all, babe. You're, like, speaking prophecies.
I got listen, you're a champ for doing this.
No, this
So,
was the best. Thank you
thank
so
you. Oh
much.
my god, of course. This was a blast. I hope you have the most amazing weekends,
Thank you, you too.
and,
Have a cig for
yeah.
me, okay?
Oh, girl, Imma have a couple today, don't you
Please,
worry. Yeah.
please think of me.
Alright, well,
Bye.
real
Thank
good,
you.
bye.
Bye.